Chicago White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group.
Tonight, two teams with almost identical records go head-to-head. The Oakland A's come to the South Side fresh off a series win versus the Angels and have the best record in baseball since July 1st. Now they'll face the Central leading White Sox, who equally have been as good at U.S. Cellular Field as of late, winning 11 of the last 15. This has all the makings of a great three-game set as Game 1 is next right here on Comcast Sportsnet. We are coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where tonight Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Adam Dunn, Alex Rios, A.J. Pierzynski and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Brandon McCarthy and the hot Oakland Athletics. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you the first, I should say, of this three-game set. And this will be the final series of this 9-game homestand. As you know, we took 2 out of 3 from the Angels. We lost 2 out of 3 to Kansas City, so we're 3-3. And we also have lost Paul Konerko. He is on the 7-day disabled list with a concussion. But tonight in Game 1 of this thing, Gavin Floyd.
Gavin Floyd going to the mound is 8-9. His ERA almost 4.5. And last time out against the Angels, he didn't look good early. He didn't have the curveball, and they got to him early in that one. But as the game moved along, he started throwing the ball better, and he struck out 6 men, which was a radical departure from when he didn't have the curveball at all. So hopefully he learned something last time out, that the stuff is good today. And he's facing an Oakland team that's last in the league in hitting, close to last in the league in runs scored. But they can pitch. And Brandon McCarthy comes off the disabled list. He's reinstated. He's 6-3. He lost his first 3. He's won his next 6. But he hasn't pitched in 3 weeks. Maybe he'll be a little rusty tonight, and we can take the first game of the series.
All right, sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Field at 67 degrees at game time. A beautiful night to play baseball and a good night to see what the Oakland Athletics look like at this juncture of the season. They've been absolutely a red-hot baseball team. Now for the Miller Times starting A's lineup under Bob Melvin. It's Crisp leading off, then Weeks, Reddick, Cespedes, who's doing great, Carter, Moss, Inge, Norris, and Pennington rounding it out. The defense and how they'll line up behind Gavin Floyd. Thanks Diaz and Rios in the outfield, Euclid, Ramirez, Beckham, and Dunn in the infield. A.J. Pierzynski with the nod behind the plate. And our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Gavin Floyd, who's looking to even it up at 9-9. His ERA just a little under 4.5. Last time out, the curveball didn't come to him until a little bit later, and the Angels took advantage of him early. Then he got a whole lot tougher. The umpires for the game tonight. Tony Randazzo behind the plate. Bob Davidson is at first. Tim Welke, the crew chief, at second. And Todd Tishner is at third. So they're throwing the ball around the infield. We're ready to play baseball. I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Steve, thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here over Comcast Sportsnet. So happy you could join us for game one of this three-game series. Switch hitting center fielder Coco Crisp will lead it off, hitting at .251, 5 homers, 27 driven in. And our 29-year-old right-hander's first pitch of the ball game, taken down low. Crisp, one of 3 switch hitters in this lineup. Weeks, the on-deck hitter, and then the 9th place hitter, Cliff Pennington. 2-0. Oakland comes in hitting just .230 as a club, but they have a 3.47 ERA.
Now, the pitching's been terrific, but they just can't generate too many runs, and this would be the last guy you'd want to walk with his speed.
There's a strike. He is 24 for 27 in stolen bases.
And Crisp, a switch hitter who's much more damaging from the left side.
4 for 9 lifetime off Gavin. And here at the ballpark, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straightaway center. So the dreaded leadoff walk.
This Oakland team has swiped 87 bases, been caught just 24 times. And the leader of the pack is the man who Gavin just walked.
Jamal Weeks hitting at .219, a couple of homers, 18 knocked in. There's the bunt. So it'll be a sacrifice. 1-3. Bob Melvin taking a page out of Gene Mock, former manager of many clubs, and a good one. That was his philosophy. Unless you've got an outstanding 2-hole hitter, leadoff man gets on, bunt him over.
Get the run early, get on the board before the other team.
Here's the power guy, Josh Reddick, hitting at .260, 25 homers, but he only has 58 RBIs. With a .230 team batting average, not a whole bunch of guys been getting home for him. Reddick, just 25 years old, out of Savannah, Georgia.
And if Boston had to do it all over again, they might not have traded this guy, even though they got Andrew Bailey and Ryan Sweeney along with Miles Head for him.
Yanks that one foul and the count 0-2. If I sound a little different tonight, please bear with me, because prior to the game, having a little tight to eat, I bit my tongue and thought I was going to bleed to death.
Now, Roy makes very good fish, and the fish was exceptional tonight. You just missed it?
Oh, man, I totally missed it. I mistook it, is a better way to put it. Mistook the halibut for my tongue.
That's not a good thing.
No, there he goes.
And Reddick did a good job because he saw the jump that Crisp got. Once again, Gavin occasionally just loses track of things, and He only looked back once. That's in the scouting report. And once having done that, you can see Crisp, actually before Gavin started throwing the ball, he took off.
And that's chopped over into their dugout. So 1-2 the count. AJ trying to figure out how to punch him out.
Reddick shows decent, but not a whole lot of power with Boston. Nothing like this year.
Ball is scalded, bobbled, picked up, and now throws him out. But the run scores. A gift run in a way to lead off walk. Not paying any attention to him. So the sacrifice bunt pays off, and it's 1-0 Bad Guys. Yeah, things have changed around over there. During one stretch of Billy Beane's tenure as GM, there were no sacrifice bunts and then no stolen bases.
Nope.
But they saw that wasn't going to work after a few years. And they went back to the way the game is supposed to be played.
Well, he also decided to get some guys who could actually hit home runs. And for Oakland, they got 123 of them. When you're within 4 from the bottom of runs scored, that's a high number of home runs.
Cespedes at 307, 14 homers and 56 knocked in. Yeah, there for a few years they tried to reinvent the wheel.
Well, one of the things that they did, and they did right, was they usually had very good pitching. But that's not brought about by a computer. That's brought about by good eyes on your scouts.
And about 120 years of baseball experience.
It's exactly right. This man has astonishing power.
He gone, but a gift run crosses the plate. After a half inning of play, it's their guys won and our guys coming to bat.
Going to line them up tonight with Piazza leading off. Euclid in his familiar 2 spot. Then it's Dunn, Rios, Pierzynski, Ramirez, Viciedo, Danks, and Beckham rounding it out. The defense and how they're lined up behind McCarthy. Cespedes, Crisp, and Reddick in the infield. Inge, Pennington, Weeks, and Carter with Norris behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Brandon McCarthy. He started out 0-3. He's won 6 in a row. Hasn't gone to the mound in 3 weeks. He's had periodic shoulder problems that's shelved him. This is just his 13th start of the year. When he's pitched effectively, but he gets hurt a lot. 8th trip to the disabled list. He's just getting off it.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. Here's Alejandro. Piazza hitting at .291, 6 homers, 43 knocked in. Sox hitting at .257 as a club with a 3.95 ERA. Good pitch. McCarthy, 29 years old now, 6'7", 200 pounds, out of Dallas, Texas.
Well, he pitches from the extreme side, the first base side of the pitching rubber, giving him an easier way to get inside on the left-handers.
A little soft looper. Ate him up inside. And here's Uke.
Career pitching totals just one game under 500, an ERA respectable in the high threes in this day and age. This the 94th game he started, and he hasn't pitched in 7 weeks.
Uke hitting at .242, 13 homers, 41 knocked in. 1 for 11 lifetime off McCarthy. Takes first pitch strike. Something I was going over and looked at as I was doing my probables for this series. Originally they had Tommy Milone scheduled for tomorrow and Jared Parker scheduled for Sunday, and including McCarthy, nobody on our ball club has ever homered off one of those 3 guys.
That's pretty amazing. I think we probably have only faced Parker once. And Milone we saw pitch just a gem against us in Oakland.
Well,
he was
left-handed
very
changeup, but now they've switched it around. We're going to miss Milone. It's going to be Blackley tomorrow and then Cologne on Sunday.
Bartolo Colon went through a stretch this year where he threw 38 straight strikes. I mean, he's at the point where now he can pretty much throw it exactly where he wants it with still pretty good stuff.
Got him in. That's out number 2. Well, if that was a trivia question and the question was what pitcher threw 38 straight strikes, I would have said Mark Buehrle. And if you say no, I would have said Bartolo Colon.
He's right there, and amazingly enough, 9-8 with this team, but an ERA of 3.38 in 22 starts. And the fact is, with the amount of pitches that he has under his ample belt, he still takes the ball each and every time out.
I've always loved Bartolo. I was so happy when we got him, and so sad when he left to go to the Angels, where he won the Cy Young the next year. But the Sox tried to sign him. Angels just overwhelmed him with money and another year.
Came up originally with the Cleveland Indians.
(1-1) to count to Adam, who is at 206, 31 homers, 75 knocked in, and he's 0 for 3 lifetime off McCarthy. And that's trouble. Reddick will not get that one, but he will hold him to a single.
Yeah, you got to be really careful on that arm. First of all, Reddick has 13 assists from right field. As good an arm as Cespedes has, and he's got the strongest arm in the outfield, but Reddick is not only strong, he's very accurate. So it looked like a double when it left the bat. Reddick turns into a single, and Adam content to stay at first.
And here's Alex hitting at 318, 18 homers, 67 knocked in. But against McCarthy, he's faced him 13 times and he has 1 hit. Breaking ball. When Brandon was with us, the best pitch he had was a changeup. Second best was the curveball. There's a shot, dropped, thrown high. Carter comes down on a bag, so that's a hang with him, another hang with him for Rios, and after one it is 1-0 A's.
Game brought to you by Miller Lite.
And Tuesday, August 21st, well, that's Green Game, powered by Constellation. First 10,000 fans will receive a White Sox reusable bag presented by Constellation Energy. That's Tuesday, August 21st. One nothing Oakland. Just joining us, leadoff walk of the ball game to Coco Crisp. Went to second on a sacrifice bunt. Quickly stole third and then scored on a ground ball by Josh Reddick.
You remember seeing much of Chris Carter when he was with the Sox?
Yeah.
What'd you think of him then?
Really liked him.
Big power.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's a good athlete. But the only place he was going to be was the H or first base, and of course with those two spots with us at the time he was with us were taken.
Well, Kenny used him to get Carlos Quentin, which turned out to be a very good deal.
Yeah. There's a bullet. Get foul. This fair. Stays in the park, so that's going to be a double.
Chili Davis talking about Carter, saying that his hands are probably quicker now than they've been any time of his career. Nissan pitch tracks. That changeup was up and out over the plate, so you don't need quite as quick a hands on a changeup, but he rifled it into the corner. He's one strong young man.
First pitch strike to Brandon Moss. Moss hitting at .232, 11 homers, and 22 knocked in, which is surprising with 11 home runs.
Well, the most amazing thing about Moss, he came up with Boston, went to Pittsburgh, was with Philadelphia, and was picked up as a minor league free agent. Since they brought him to the major leagues, his power numbers have been pretty impressive.
Good pitch. And the count 1-2.
Played in only 47 games so far, 138 at bats with the 11 and 22. Strikes out a bit more than you would like, but this team leads the American League in strikeouts, so they got a bunch of guys that strike out a lot.
Two and two the count. Carter at second, nobody out. It is 3-0. So a quick 3-0 lead by the A's.
12th home run. Runs 23 and 24 driven in. Moss showed you the power that he's had since become a member of this Oakland team. Our Ford home run replay, it's a hanging breaking ball. And that's been the big problem for Gavin. That curveball early hasn't worked.
Here's the veteran Brandon Inge. Released by the Tigers, picked up by the A's, and had an immediate impact for about a week to 10 days.
Well, the A's love him in the clubhouse, and he's always been a clubhouse leader and a clubhouse favorite all those years with Detroit. In the acquisition of Johnny Gomes and Brandon Inge. They've gotten two guys who are wonderful in the clubhouse, and that really helps all the youngsters they have on this team.
2-1 to count. That was right off the end of the bat. And one out.
Nice pickup on the one hopper. Came with a lot of spin to it. He stayed right with it, and the rest is easy.
Derek Norris, 23-year-old catcher. He's got some pop. Last year at Harrisburg, hit 20 home runs. Just 23 years old. Took that curveball nicely.
One of the reasons why they traded Kurt Suzuki to the Washington Nationals was to clear the path for Derek Norris. He's not the defensive catcher that Suzuki was, but he does have pretty big power.
Well, I am very happy to see Suzuki in another league. He wore us out.
Well, I got to talk with Mike Rizzo today, and they're ecstatic to have him, and the pitching staff loves to throw to him. So everybody's happy with the deal.
We are and they are.
Yeah, it seemed that Suzuki would go 1 for 4, 1 for 3 with a walk, but that base hit would always come from the 7th inning on. It was always a big hit.
2-2 the count. Not too much time.
Norris, in fact, came over from Washington, where he's a fourth round draft pick, along with Tommy Malone and a couple of others, for Gio Gonzalez. And both teams very happy with that deal.
And a full count. And there's just a get me over breaking ball hammered. So Norris with his 4th two-bagger.
Everything away in the entire at bat, and it looked like a cutter that pretty much didn't cut. Stayed right there outside, but Norris, very strong, reaches out, and a lot like Carter, just yanks it into the corner.
So here's switch hitting Cliff Pennington at 196, 3 homers. He's driven in 16. Backham's got him. 2 down.
Oakland comes into this one just 5.5 games in back of the Rangers. The Rangers leading 1-0 over Detroit in the bottom of the 2nd and threatening for more.
He did go, says Todd Tichenor. Chopper 2 hopper. But the long 2-run homer by Moss after an inning and a half, not good. Jerry Reinsdorf joined members of the White Sox Volunteer Corps, the Salvation Army, those organizers from Kaboom, and residents of the local community to build a new playground. They built a playground at the recently opened Ray and Joan Kroc Corps Community Center in Chicago's West Pullman neighborhood. White Sox Charities donated $1 million to the Salvation Army Chicago Metropolitan Division to help build a community center, the largest single investment ever made by a social service organization in the city of Chicago. So to learn more about the week or how you can get involved with White Sox Charities, visit whitesox.com/community. Here's AJ. Alexei on deck. Viciedo in the hole. 3-0. Stretch. Stretch. Chris Back looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes. Yes. Number 22 for AJ. And it's a 3-1 ball game. Number 150 in his career.
AJ is swinging a lot more at the first pitch, especially if it's a fastball. He got a first ball fastball from McCarthy and rode it out of the ballpark. He's driven in his 64th run. Our Ford home run replay shows you a fastball that's right there and gone.
So here's Alexei. Alexei at 262 for homers, 50 driven in. And there's a line shot right back through the middle. And right now, let's check out our Farmers Insurance picks to click. Man Joe, our director and the crew, well, they went with Piazza. Steve's going with Beckham. And Mike Mazza, Kenny Wiz, Tom Eichstadt, Pete Catazone, Laura Arenas, Mary Weiss, Nick, Joe, Tom Sheridan. We're going to go with AJ, the man who just homered. Breaking ball strike. Goes through it.
That one very hittable, and Viciedo's really been struggling.
Yeah, he has.
Somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 for 21. He's been expanding his strike zone. Pitches away that he was crushing earlier in the year. He is not crushing now. And I know you can't explain, Hawk, exactly why it happens to a hitter, but how can he get out of it more quickly than most?
I wish I knew. I wish I knew. If I did, I would tell him, and he would never gone 2 for 21. That's just youth, whatever goes through his mind. You know, he's the only one who knows that. All of a sudden you get hot, and he's got a record of being a very slow starter, which he started off slow this year. Then he got hot.
He did.
And now he's back in a bit of a funk. It's hard. It's really hard to try to get a young, strong Latin player to choke up on a bat or cut down on a swing. I would love to see him choke up about an inch and a half, just for that reason right there. And quickly 2 out, because they've been able to jam him at will the last few weeks. And is when you choke up about an inch and a half on that bat, you don't get jammed as much.
Well, he also has been swinging at pitches inside off the plate, anywhere from 2 inches to 4 inches inside. So if you're going to swing at that pitch, it's almost impossible, one, to keep it fair if you do hit it, and if you can keep it fair, you'll break your bat and usually ground to the left side, because those aren't strikes that he's swinging at inside.
No, you don't have to throw him any strikes right now. If you do, you're crazy. But the home run by Pierzynski gets us on the board. We'll go to the third. It is 3-1 A's. Tune in tomorrow night for a replay of the new game show that gives the fan on the street a chance to show off their sports knowledge and fill up their tank. Gas Money, presented by Honda. Tomorrow night at 9, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
The Athletics have really had problems with the middle of the infield. Weeks not having a good year at all. And Pennington just coming off the disabled list, and they've tried a number of guys at shortstop, and it hasn't worked to this point.
Weeks had that sacrifice bunt in the first. So good speed aboard. He is 14 for 19 in stolen bases.
Nissan pitch tracks. That pitch on the outside corner, and Weeks did a nice job of going right with it. That's the advantage of establishing that you're going to bunt. Youkilis was in tight, and so no angle at all on that ball, and it went through.
Here's Reddick. He grounded out very hard to second base and knocked in Crisp in the first inning. Crisp had walked, went to second on the sacrifice bunt by Weeks, stole third, uncontested, and then scored on the ground ball by Reddick.
There, look at the running numbers, pretty impressive. And last year Weeks hit .303, but this year it's been a whole lot tougher.
Change up down low.
Is there anything to the idea of a sophomore jinx?
No question about it. No question about it. You've seen it all your career, and I've seen it all. There are a lot of exceptions to that rule, but the majority, see guys come in and have a big rookie year, and then all of a sudden, poof, they find the holes. The pitchers find the holes.
And then it's up then to the hitter to adjust to whatever the pitcher's doing.
And the big thing about it is that they don't want to adjust because they just had a big year
yes,
the year before.
It's true.
So there's where the catch-22 is. Reddick just 25, as I mentioned. Career high. 25 homers.
Career high in the major leagues by a wide margin.
Yeah.
He had a hard time getting on the field with Boston.
Josh, previous I was 18 at Pawtucket, which is just a bandbox. Yeah, this young man can do a lot of things. He got a chance to be a real good.
Well, if Bob Melvin is guessing breaking ball here, he's going to send Weeks.
He gone. As Steve said, he could have sent him and probably stole second. Change up, off-speed pitch.
And he caught a good portion of the plate. So took down one tough hitter.
That's all you're looking for to steal a base is something off speed, either the breaking ball or the changeup.
Cespedes has had nagging injuries this year. A wrist injury put him on the disabled list. He had a hamstring problem that he fought through. They never disabled him for it, but he wasn't quite the same. Now he's getting back closer to 100%. Since the All-Star break, the A's have been very hot, and so has Yoenis Cespedes. 20 runs driven in. Batting average way up there. What a young hitter he is.
Yeah, he's the real deal.
Yep.
Well, they've won 25 out of the last 36 games. They've done it, as you mentioned, primarily with pitching, but they got that spurt there for a week to 10 days from Inge when he first came over.
Yep.
Cespedes has given, and Reddick has been the one steady influence since he came over in the deal.
And they've got a terrific manager that not a whole lot of people know about in Bob Melvin. He was the bench coach for Bob Brenly on that 2001 championship Diamondback team. He's a terrific baseball man, and what he can do, a lot like Robin, he can really relate to players well, and they love playing for him.
Well, I think he's the reason that they have had the success that they've had, because If you look at their lineup, it does not just scare you.
No,
It just does not scare you.
They're last in the league in hitting.
They've got pretty good pitching.
Yeah, they do.
It's an attitude that Robin has given our guys and Bobby Melvin has given his guys. They think they can win. Chops that foul.
Well, since July 1st, this Oakland team has the best record in the major leagues, followed by the Washington Nationals, who, by the way, by 2.5 games, they're better than anybody else in baseball with their record for this full season. Then the Braves, the Reds, and the Tigers, who are 1 game in back of us heading into action tonight.
Watch out. He almost got dehorned right there.
Well, that high fastball was well out of the zone. Gives you an idea, number one, how strong Cespedes is, and also how big that strike zone is. That ball was a good 6 inches up and out of the strike zone. Take a look at that. Gets on top of it. Unfortunately for Gavin, who falls off the mound to the first base side, that wasn't at his head because he could never gotten the glove up.
So here's Carter. He got just a spinner and ripped it down into the left field corner for a double and scored. That was leading off last inning. 3-5-0 for them, 1-3-0 for us here in the top of the third. Good speed aboard. Weeks at second, Cespedes at first.
Gordon's trying to keep him as close as possible. On the double steal, AJ probably should go to second base. Try to cut down Cespedes.
There's a slide step and a fastball strike on the outside corner.
Well, Mark Parent is a guy that calls the slide steps, the pitch outs, the throw overs. He's already given AJ his signs.
There's a future big league manager along with our third base coach, Joe McEwing. Two on, one out. And the 0-1 pitch. Curveball high, hangs high and in.
Yeah, again, having all kinds of problems with the breaking ball early. And this wouldn't be a man you'd like to hang it to. Not as well as he's been swinging the bat.
One and two the count. The 25-year-old, 6'4", 250-pound Chris Carter. Count evens at 2. Bottom of the third in Texas, 1-0 Rangers over the Tigers. He got a pretty good pitch to hit, and we got a break. He gone. 2 down.
Sometimes if you hang a curveball, you hang it high enough where the hitter can't get to it. And there was an example of a ball just tipped by Carter on a hanging curveball, stuck in AJ's glove.
So here's Moss. '28-year-old Brandon Moss. And here's what he did last inning.
Another rolling breaking ball, and a no-doubter unless it hooked foul. It didn't. The time made it 3-0, but AJ's home run made it 3-1.
Since July 1st, the A's have hit the 4th most home runs. And there it is. Poof. Now they're tied with the Pirates at 49, according to what Pittsburgh has done tonight.
And the Angels, largely due to what Trout and Pujols have done, right up there at the top. But the Angels are 7 games in back of Texas, with Oakland just 5.5 back.
Again, that's a credit to the skipper Bobby Melvin, because there's just no way that the Oakland A's have the ball club that the Anaheim Angels have, Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. But they don't think that. They think they're as good. So that's the way it's supposed to be. This is like Kansas City. Kansas City against us, they just think they can beat us. It's just that simple. And we got a thing in our heads about the Royals. We got to get out.
Yeah. As you look at the standings, with Oakland 5.5 back, the Mariners in a rebuilding year, and the Angels probably going to be battling for the wild card. But there's no doubt Kansas City doesn't go into each and every game with the feeling they have against our ball club, because if they did, they wouldn't be where they are, which is buried in last place.
They're 5-4 against us.
Yep.
And before we won,
they were life and death.
That's right.
Every game.
Two on, two out, and the 2-2 pitch.
That one just missed him on a fastball inside. Haven't tried to get that fastball in there. Just missed ticking his uniform.
Brandon Inge on deck. So AJ, very doubtful he's going to throw in anything straight over the plate. That's inside. And that will load him up.
Second walk of the game for Floyd. Here comes Don Cooper. He doesn't want to let this one get away early. So this becomes the key at bat of the game to this point, the Inge at bat.
Coop got his ears lowered.
Well, you go to enough barber colleges, you're going to find one that'll charge you $5. That's a quality haircut.
That's gold. Oh, Coop. He is a character. But he is, at what he does, one of, if not the best. So Sox packed with bad guys. Inge grounded out to short. Outfield straight up. Just spins one just for a strike. You can do that on the first pitch of a sequence.
Yeah, that's about it, though. If it's not going to break break sharply on a curve or slider disappearing away after the first pitch, you're going to have some problems.
Curveball in the count 0-2.
That's one of the best curveballs Gavin's thrown tonight. Take a look at Inge's reaction. He'll tell you how good the curveball is. Had to duck out of the way of a pitch right down the middle.
He gone. AJ just steps on the plate. That'll retire the side. So they threaten. They don't cross home plate. And we'll go to the bottom of the third, trailing by 2.
A's player to be named American League Rookie of the Year. You think about that for a bit? We've had some very good young players over the years. We'll get back to you a little later in the game with the answer.
Gordon Beckham will lead it off for us here in the bottom of the third inning. Just joining us. Hayes with a run in the first. It was a gift run, and then a 2-run homer by Moss in the second. We had a solo shot by AJ in the second. AJ's 22nd of the season. And of course, with that home run by Pierzynski, the Alex Nelius family will donate $100 to White Sox charities for every Sox homer hit throughout the course of the season. As number 138, so $13,800 donated by Alex Nelius in loving memory of Ursula. Two 2-0 the count. There's the strike. Texas now leading 2-0, bottom of the third over the Tigers. That evens it. Got him. One down.
He's on pitch tracks. We'll show you a good moving fastball that actually came back and caught the corner.
So here's Diaza. Did a little looper to Jamal Weeks at second. And making plans to be with us tomorrow night. Liriano on the bump for us against Travis Blackley. Southpaw for them. If you can't make it to the ballpark, that game will be over WGN. Oh, the glove of Carter took a bad hop, so that'll be into the seats. The ground rule double. Or error. That ball took a bad hop, though.
I'm pretty sure that's got to be scored a two-base hit. But we'll wait and see. Diaz hits this ball awfully hard. It's down the line. Comes off the dirt with a lot of spin. In fact, he never got a glove on it. That ball hit him on the wrist, and it is indeed a two-base hit.
As it should be. That's his 24th. So here's Uke. Struck out his first trip. Takes a strike. Ate him up. McCarthy. 2 down.
McCarthy was the only one who could get to this. It wasn't hit very high, and it was crossing over into foul territory down the first base line. Carter was back. He couldn't get to it. Norris couldn't get to it. And so McCarthy took it himself.
And here's Adam. He had a single down into the right field corner. Pick him up, Adam. Also, if you're just tuning in, Paul Konerko is on the 7-day DL with a concussion. Boy, we have really been banged up lately.
Well, if we can get them all out of the way now before we get to the last couple of weeks of August, we're going to be in good shape as that one gets away.
Here's how it happened on Paulie.
Jared Dyson catches him in the temple with his left elbow.
Paulie actually turned into him when he made the play.
Yeah, well, I was going to say with Gordon's throw, and Gordon was off balance. That's the only throw he could make.
Right.
It did take him right into the path of the runner. It was not done on purpose. It was one of those things that you just look at. Your head is in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Two out, Diaza at third, and the 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball. And a full count. Alex Rios on deck. Big gap out there in left center. Got him. Third strikeout for McCarthy, and we'll go to the fourth.
Los Locos Tacos from Taco Bell.
Three-one Bad Guys here in the top of the fourth, and you can watch the game in luxury from behind home plate in the Gold Coast Tickets Club right here at US Cellular Field. Gold Coast Tickets, you got a guy, says Sherry. Max Wasteman, good people. But we got to get some runs. Can't do it right now because it's their turn. Norris, Pennington, and then back to the top of the order with Crisp.
Gavin was touched up early by the Angels in his last performance, and then the curveball came to him and he got tougher. Hopefully the same will happen tonight, because he's got to hold him right there.
Piazza, as he should, taking charge, 1 out. And that'll bring it Pennington. And Sox fans also, Saturday, August 25th, be sure to stay for a post-game fireworks display presented by St. Xavier University. St. Xavier, success with purpose. Taking all the way as Norris jumped on first pitch. Boston leading Cleveland 3-2, top of the 8th at Progressive Field. Baltimore beating Kansas City 7-1, top of the 8th at Camden Yards. Tampa Bay leading Minnesota 8-1, bottom of the 3rd at Target Field.
Last year, Pennington hit .264, drove in 58 runs, played in 148 games, and was their just about everyday shortstop. This year, he's had a bad shoulder, and it's really hurt him.
That ball hit into right field. We got a man there. So here's Crisp. Coco Crisp. I don't care what uniform he's had on against us. He has played like an all-star.
We started out the season as a 2-hitter in left field. That's not really where he's comfortable. He's much more comfortable as a 1-hitter in center field, and since he's been there, he's hit well over 300.
Well, against us, he's a .292 lifetime hitter with 10 homers. And there you go, .291. 10 homers and 39 knocked in. And it's just not the numbers, it's when he got them.
And pretty, you know, for a guy without a whole lot of power, pretty impressive power numbers in extra base hits. Now again, you set up the stolen base, and with 2 outs, you'd have to feel, especially with Weeks up, that he's going to be going somewhere in the sequence.
Walked 3 guys, 2 of them coming to the wrong man. He's got a good lead. And AJ wants to tell him something. And he's out there. Come see our Sox take on the Oakland A's tomorrow at 6:10. First 20,000 fans get a camouflage cap. There it is. It's a beauty. Presented by Outdoor Channel and Xfinity. So purchase tickets by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. One and one to count. Weeks out of Orlando. Texas leading Detroit 2-1. Top of the 4th inning. Ball hit hard in the center field. Piazza recovered nicely to make that catch. It's a hang with him for weeks. Meanwhile, it's still a 3-1 Oakland lead.
The last A's player to be named the AL Rookie of the Year, and the answer, Andrew Bailey, who was traded off to Boston toward the end of spring training, got his thumb caught in the uniform of a base runner heading to first base, had surgery, and so far hasn't been able to contribute too much to his new Boston mates.
Here's Alex. He hung out a rope. I mean, a screaming Mimi right down to Brandon Edge, who jumped, caught it, dropped it, and then threw him out. Just a bullet. 0-1 to count. Three 5-1 for the A's. 1-4-0 for our guys. 1-1 to count. Cincinnati beat the Cubs this afternoon 10-8. Aroldis Chapman is 26 saves. There's another shot. Crisp got a good jump. Made that catch easy. Another hang with him for Alex. And that'll bring up our only run to the plate.
That fastball drifted right down the middle and then drifted out of the park.
AJ, 22 homers, 64 knocked in.
And during the 11-game hitting streak, those numbers up there with just about anybody in baseball.
Well, there was another guy that played for quite a while who we all thought had a chance to really do some damage, home run, RBI wise. And all of a sudden he got to be a little older. And here it comes. He started hitting 30, 40 home runs, and that was Tino Martinez. When he first came in the league, you could knock the bat right out of his hands.
Well, also didn't play in a park conducive to that kind of hitting, and then he went to a park where if you could pull the ball left-handed, you were in pretty good shape. So he got to the perfect place.
Well, he couldn't pull a ball when he first came in. His bat was slow, and he learned how to, instead of extending with that right arm because he was a left-handed hitter, fold that forearm and let it get outside the elbow, and all of a sudden here comes the head of the bat, and he started to pull the ball and hit a home run.
Take it down that line and into right center field.
And AJ, the way he's built, strong as he is, he's got another 3 or 4 years. He's liable to hit 30 home runs a year finishing up. It's a state of mind. High pop up. Two down. That'll bring up Alexei. But AJ leads all major league catchers with 22 home runs. Tops all American League catchers with 64 RBIs, and also in slugging percentage. He's also on pace to record 1,000 innings caught for the 11th straight season, which would extend the longest streak, active streak in baseball. That ball hit deep, stretch. He goes back, looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes. Yes. He got a roller, didn't miss it, and it's a 3-2 ball game.
5th home run, 51st driven in. Alexei, who's starting to show the power that he's had since he's gotten here. Got a mistake, the Ford home run replay. That one just was sitting up there on a tee for him, and he took it into the bullpen.
And here is Tank. Takes it right there. And count 0-2.
Usually, and we don't know if that will be the case tonight, but when we out-homer the opposition, we usually win the ball game. That's been what's happened most of this year. And with the power on this team, top to bottom in the lineup, we can out-homer most of the teams.
Well, I think coming into tonight, we were 52 and 25 when we hit a 1 home run. We still got a long way to go in this one. 3-5-0 for them, 2-5-0 for us.
Long way to go, and you figure after 7 weeks on the shelf, the McCarthy curveball is going to be inconsistent.
You said that up front.
That's a long time to wait.
As he gets Tank, but the homer by Alexei. We're into the 5th now, only trailing by 1. Deal of the week. Enjoy a variety of price options for specific games and seating locations. Now, the best tickets and the best locations directly from the White Sox. So buy early and save. Buy early and save with the White Sox dynamically priced tickets. Visit whitesox.com/pricing. Here's Josh Reddick. Takes a breaking ball low. Reddick has grounded out to second very hard. Drove in a run in the first, and then he caught looking on a good changeup in the third. 25-year-old out of Savannah, Georgia. Geechee boy. High pop up on a breaking ball. That's a can of corn. Round number one. And we want to send out a big congratulations Pete Williams and everybody for the Streator 12's Little League team. They had a chance with 2 victories to get to Williamsport in the World Series, but they lost. Didn't make any difference. You guys didn't lose. You guys still won. They had one heck of a season. So our congratulations and a big, big White Sox shout out to the Streator 12's Little League team.
I think it's great as far as they want, with even a chance to get to the World Series with 2 more wins.
Yeah.
Very successful year.
Just to have an opportunity to go there is awesome. These guys are winners, not losers. And here's the 0-1. Watch out. So Cespedes is hit. Got him pretty good.
AJ setting up inside, which is where he wanted that fastball, and he got him right next to the 5. And that probably will leave a mark.
That's the 13th guy that Gavin has hit. Gavin does hit a lot of left-handers with a breaking ball, hits a lot of right-handers with a fastball.
Well, he wants to go inside with that fastball to right-handers. And if you lose your release point, it's going to go up and in. As far as that breaking ball is concerned, he tries to throw it down and in, and sometimes gets a little too much break on it. Hits off either the front or rear foot of the hitter.
Cespedes got 10 stolen bases, and he's looking for 11 after you get drilled. Line drive. Carter. Now 1 for 3. That double and run scored back in the second inning.
It's another changeup. And he does have Carter out in front of it. Softly hit line drive. Not much on it. And that's what allowed Cespedes to get back at first. All set. Big 2-run homer. Long one. And a walk. And that is Souvenir left side.
So the A's let Josh Willingham go. Last year he had 29 homers and drove in 98 for them. They had him in this lineup right now.
Especially with what he's done this year with Minnesota.
Yeah, he's going to waltz right on by those numbers.
Well, in the last calendar year, nobody in baseball has hit more home runs than Josh Willingham.
No, he was a terrific pickup by Minnesota. And then a bad let go by Oakland. There he goes. And that pitch fouled away. Cespedes, as we talked about, is the real deal. Speed, power. Can go get him in the outfield. Buenas Cespedes.
And for left fielders, his arm might be a touch better than Viciedo. They both have abnormally strong left field arms.
High pop up on a breaking ball. That'll retire the side. We're halfway home. We trail it by 1. Chuck, we're in the bottom of the 5th right here in a 3-2 Oakland lead. Johnny Danks, Gordon Beckham, Alejandro Diaza. There's the bunt. McCarthy quickly over, and he gets it.
Doesn't get him by much, but the only reason he did get him was that was not the ideal pitch to bunt. In fact, it almost was thrown right at Danks, and so he had to hold up after he got the bunt down. Right there, that little moment of hesitation is what got him out by a half step at first. If this ball is away, it's going to be a base hit. Nice play by McCarthy.
So here's Beckham. Called out on a fastball. Curveball misses. Two and 0 the count. The outfield spread out. Gap out there in left center. Inge close to the line now, moves off the line just a step or so, step and a half behind the bag. And the count's 3-0. Don't help him out. First of a 3-game set. This homestand started with the Angels in town. We took 2 out of 3. And there's ball 4. When Kansas City comes to town, they took 2 out of 3. But we have definitely gone through a rash of injuries.
Norris is okay behind the plate. He's not as good as Suzuki at blocking pitches. He's got a pretty decent arm, but this might be the opportunity for Robin to use the hit and run.
How's that back? Alejandro's 1 for 2, a double. Hit a bullet off the wrist of Chris Carter. Ball took a bad hop, went into the seats for a ground rule double.
Last 18 games, the numbers have been terrific. And when Alejandro was hurt, he left a big hole in that lineup at the top, because he's been getting on base consistently this year. Here's the AT&T Uverse Multiview.
Jammed him. Inge. And that's out number 2. That'll bring up Youkilis. Uke has struck out, and he got jammed and popped up in foul ground to McCarthy. Here's a good pitch. Ball has some nice movement on it right there.
Menard's pitch tracks.
A little cutter, wasn't it?
Yeah, in a perfect spot also. Tough to get out there and get that one, especially on the first pitch.
Yeah, the only time you might have a chance is on 3-2. Big gap out there in left center. Only problem is Cespedes can fly. And Crisp is not slow.
No, their outfield is pretty good defensively all the way around. Now you're going to run on Crisp every chance you get. Not so with Cespedes and Reddick, however.
Reddick shallow out there and right. And that has popped up. That's a can of corn for Coco. And we're into the 6th, trailing 3-2. Our good guys wrap up this weekend outing and this homestand with the A's. Coverage begins at 12:30 with White Sox pregame live presented by Honda City. White Sox A's Sunday afternoon at 12:30 on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Lower third of their order, Inge, Norris, and Pennington. High pop up on pitch number 1. Gordon. 1 out. So here's Moss. We'll check that Norris, that double, and a pop up to center.
Gavin gave up the 3 runs in the first 2 innings, put 3 zeros on the board, attempting to do the same thing here in the 6th. He's got the right men up, the bottom part of the order.
One and one to count.
Decent numbers for Gavin, especially after a bad first and second.
Now, is that back? One and two the count. He gone. There was a good one. 2 down.
90th pitch, and Gavin's curveball is now in evidence. It's breaking hard. It's breaking sharp. And when that happens, either right or left-handers just don't handle it.
So here's Pennington. Well, you were a breaking ball pitcher and very successful. I know there were times that you went out there that your curveball didn't come to you until later in the ball game.
A lot. But I was able to change things. I'm not sure that Gavin is, for whatever reason. I would shorten my stride and made sure I got over the top of it. So without shortening the stride, that ball is just going to hang up there and you open too soon, and suddenly you just don't have the breaking ball. Not that you can always get it back, but that's why you use the cutter or the slider. You start changing speeds on your fastball, and eventually it's going to come to you. If you stay over the top, shorten your stride, you will get the curveball back, and you'll get it back more quickly.
That's what another good pitcher said, and he was one of the best that ever towed the bump, and that was Greg Maddux.
Yeah, he was.
He said that about all his pitches.
Yeah, I was going to say, he was not only something with the curveball, but he had everything.
Yeah. That ball hit into right center field. Alex, nope, it's off the wall. So Pennington going to give it a shot. Here's a throw by. No, cut off by Alexei.
That was one of the shorter cutoffs. As Gordon attempting to throw him out, Alexei just cut it. Pennington with 3 home runs, all from the left side, shows you he does have some power from that side. As this ball not only hits the wall, but then hits the padding and bounces back the other way. That's all that got Pennington into third base. Lexi must have thought that that throw wasn't going to get him, so he cut it off to make sure it didn't get away.
Corners in close. Crisp. And Gavin pitches out of it. No runs, a hit, no errors, one left. We go to the bottom of the sixth. It is 3-2 Athletics. The third annual White Sox Wives Basket Auction during our broadcast. Now, the auction features 9 premium baskets assembled by the White Sox wives, and viewers have the opportunity to bid on those baskets online throughout the game. These special baskets feature several White Sox players' favorite everyday items, including favorite video games, clothes, food, wine, and apparel from other favorite sports teams, as well as an autographed item. The auction begins at 11 a.m. on Sunday, and fans can place bids at whitesox.com/baskets. Right size, wrong shape. Adam Dunn. A's lead at 3-2. Brandon McCarthy has pitched well, going 2 solo homers. Adam is 1 for 2. A single down into the corner. Good play by Reddick to hold him to a single and a strikeout.
Talked to Adam before the game. He was able to get in some golf yesterday, a little R&R. Played Cog Hill, as did I, and we both like to thank Frank Jemsik. I'd like to thank him for the opportunity to spend as much time in the sand as I could. There were so more sand traps in my life, nor had as much difficulty getting out of them.
Frank's a good man.
He is a good man, and he's got himself a beautiful golf course.
Yeah. I really like Joe. Joe was a hell of a guy. Boy, he did a lot for golf around the greatest golf city in the world, which is ours. Is that slicing? Stay fair. Nope.
He didn't miss by much, but Todd Tichenor on the call as that ball sliced just in front of the pole, so he's hit one hard to right, hit one hard to left. Now it's time to take one out to center. Make sure it stays fair. You watch the ball, and unfortunately you can see it, and if you can see the ball in front of the pole, it's foul.
That ball slicing away, but that speed of Cespedes takes a double away from Dunn. Wow. He just turned it on.
He closed on that like as good a wide receiver in the NFL as you'll see. This ball slicing well away from him. He just kicked it into another gear and ran it down. When he first moved to left field, he had some problems because he was a lifetime center fielder. But you don't see any of that now.
5'10", 210 pounds. Yeah, he's strong as a bull.
Alex has been out twice, and he's hit the ball right on the button twice.
Made a good pass to that just underneath it. Sacks it up. He did not go.
Be interesting to see how long Bob Melvin goes with McCarthy, because it's been 7 weeks since the last start. He's kept it to a minimum of pitches so far. With one out here in the 6th inning, he's at 71 pitches.
Two and two the count, Alex.
There you look at the numbers. So far pretty impressive. Both of those runs coming on solo shots, one by A.J. in the 2nd, one by Alexi in the 4th.
He got away with one right there. It's just to get me open.
We got burned on the rolling curveball in the 4th, and now he's not throwing quite as many, and you can see why. Because they're not breaking sharply. They are in the rolling stage as his arm gets a little more fatigued.
And once again the 2-2. It's full. A.J. on deck. In and out of the hands of one, into his friend sitting next to him. And once again the payoff. And this playable popped up Chris Carter. So 2 down. And here's A.J. And here's what he did leading off the 2nd. And he keeps it short and keeps that bat in front of his chest. He is very, very good. And he gets that big swing going and gets that bat behind his back. He is very, very bad.
Well, he's been awfully good for a long time now.
Yes, he has.
This is a prolonged stretch of just great power, good run production, and yet his batting average keeps on going up. So he's not sacrificing any batting average to maintain the power.
Well, another thing about A.J. is the fact is when he does it, A.J. is one of the best. And I don't care who's pitching. Left-handed don't make any difference. In the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, he is dangerous.
Well, it's illustrated by his pinch home run to keep his homer streak alive with just one opportunity to do it.
2-0. Watch out. Saw that one coming. Saw that one coming. I think he tried to get him the pitch before.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like A.J. was able to get the elbow in, and that one went off the pad instead of off the ribs. Years ago, I know you played with him, certainly against him. That was Stan Williams, who wanted to keep his walk totals down. So if he got the 2 or 3-0, he just hit you.
And guys knew it. As that has popped up. And that'll retire the side. We're into the 7th, still trailing 3-2. After White Sox postgame live, we'll have a complete recap from this game. Plus, we'll break down the Bears' first preseason game with Moon Mullins, John Moon Mullins. So join Gail Fisher and Luke Stuckmeyer. That's Gail Fisher and Luke Stuckmeyer for GMC Sportsnet Central tonight after postgame live, only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Jamal Weeks, Josh Reddick. So a warning has been given to both as Cespedes got drilled and AJ got drilled.
Anthony Randazzo decided that that was enough of that.
Well, at least he didn't give a warning after Cespedes got drilled.
True. he let him even it up.
Yep. Jamal is 1 for 2. Sacrifice bunt as well. Well, getting back to Stan Williams that you mentioned just as the break came up. Stan at one time, he came up with the Dodgers. He was a big guy. Because there's a chopper. Somebody's got to hurry.
Forget it.
So leadoff single. And good speed aboard. He is 14 for 19 and stolen bases. And here comes Robin. Got Reddick. You also have Septimo down there. But getting back to Stan, what he would do is, as Steve said, when he got to 3-0 on you, rather than walk you, he'd just drill you. So it wouldn't go in his walk total. Plus, when he wanted to get somebody, he would put their picture in his locker. And what would happen back in those days as Gavin walks off, the pitchers would come out and watch the other team take batting practice. So one of Stan's teammates would come, and they were playing the Giants one day, and all the hitters knew about the picture. So one of Stan's teammates says Willie Mays was in the cage. Willie, Stan, to see this guy. Stan's got his picture in his locker. And Willie almost fainted. Meanwhile, Gavin is gone, and we'll be back.
Septimo. Layson 0-1, ERA up over 5 on for the 11th time. Control has been a big factor. When he gets the ball over the plate, nobody hits him. When he doesn't and gets behind, then he has some problems. So with Reddick and Cespedes, you figure he's on simply to face Reddick. And then Robin goes to the right-hander in the pen.
Reddick 0 for 3, but he does have an RBI. Hit a bullet of a ground ball to Beckham in the first with Coco Crisp on at third. And 1 out. So he picked up the ribby. Now it's 25 homers, 59 driven in. Good breaking ball. One of the better breaking balls that Layson has thrown lately. Usually he's been missing low and away outside the zone with it.
Yeah, he's been getting underneath the curveball, and that's really stopped any semblance of control.
That one missed and the count evens.
But one of the things that you're going to have to deal with, and you have to when you use young pitchers, is an inconsistent release point that stops you from consistently throwing strikes. And Septimo, whose stuff is as good as anybody's, just has an inconsistent release point.
Another breaking ball, and the count 1-2. Tigers now leading Texas 4-2. 6th inning. And if you want a fantastic Sox experience, check out the Comcast Fundamentals deck at US Cellular Field. You can interact with White Sox trainers, run the bases at the wiffle ball diamond, and test your swing at the batting cages. You're always at the center of action with Xfinity only from Comcast. Three runs on 7 hits, no errors for them. 2 runs on 5 hits, no errors for us. He gone. Dig out.
And here comes Robin, and there goes Septimo. He did his job. He came on to get a tough left-hand hitter, the third of 3 breaking balls, and Reddick will have a seat. So as he departs and Jesse Crain comes in, we'll step out and be back after these messages. It is Jesse Crain. And there's a look at what Jesse's done. And this is 32nd game. 2-1 record, a terrific 2.17 ERA. Just getting back to the point now where that overhand curveball, which is his big weapon, is coming back to him after a year that has seen him a little more injured than he would like.
So here's Cespedes. The strikeout, a vicious single. Back through the middle, and then he was drilled right in the back in the 5th inning. Jesse with that good quick move. Cespedes turns it loose. I mentioned 5'10", 210 pounds.
There were a few teams that offered him more money, but they all wanted to lock him up for more years. Oakland was willing to go 4 years and then, I believe, allow him to be a free agent. I think that's what swung the deal to Oakland, and they got a good one. I think he and his agent realized that at his age, there's one more huge contract on the horizon.
Smart move. Unless he was going to get what he wanted and the years he wanted. Good move by his agent.
Yeah, without proving himself here as a hitter, if you're not from the Pacific Rim and you're coming here, you're probably not going to get in that first contract what you're looking for. But if he establishes that he can do all of this stuff and stay healthy over 4 years, the sky's the limit.
2-1 to count.
But one of the keys, of course, will be staying healthy, because he hasn't been able to consistently do that this year.
Count evens at 2 with Chris Carter on deck.
Not a great curveball, but good enough to get it by him.
He's got a little RA in those swings he's had.
Yeah, I don't think he was awfully happy with the location of the fastball in the 5th inning.
No.
So he'd like to take it off the scoreboard if he could. When you do that, usually don't make much contact.
Wiggs getting very short leads over there, and understandably so. That move of Jesse Cranes. There he goes. Started.
Well, that time it's okay to get a quick start, but if you're running and the pitcher is still holding the ball, you've got a problem. And watch Weeks. He starts to go and then retreats. Jesse was still holding the ball. Someone undoubtedly would have said step off. He would have been out easily at second.
Outfield straight up, about equidistant. And once again the 2-2 pitch. He gone. 2 down.
BMO Harris Bank pitch tracks, and he throws a fastball at 93, keeps it out of the zone. And Cespedes, who did want to hit it about 500 feet, comes up completely empty.
Tigers 5, Rangers 2, bottom of the 6th. Carter has doubled. He is struck out, and he is lined hard to you. That one at 93, and Carter just underneath it. Just a decent lead by Weeks. And count 1-2. And once again, a reminder, make your plans to be with us tomorrow night. 6:10 start. Francisco Liriano against Travis Blackley, left-hander. And finale on Sunday, Chris Sale against Bartolo Colon. Tomorrow's game will be over WGN if you can't make it to the ballpark. And Sunday, right back here on Comcast Sportsnet. A little bit high.
BMO Harris Bank pitch tracks will show you that it was borderline.
He gone. Hook. 7th inning stretch. We need one to tie. There it is as you check out our Comcast Sportsnet tail of the tape. 3-2 bad guys. It'll be DeCieto, Danks, and Beckham. Takes a curveball strike. Tank is 0 for 2. Late call, but he calls it a strike, and now the count 0-2.
Outfield playing around toward right center field.
Good eye on that one.
You got Cespedes way over in the alley in left center.
That ball hit high and deep. Ready back. Make a whoa. Looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes. Yes. Opposite field homer for Tank, and this game is tied at 3. It's all good.
DeCieto finally got one on the outside corner, and he swung at a strike. It's our fourth home run replay. Reddick tries to climb the wall, but comes up way short of this one. Third home run given up by McCarthy. We had wondered how many innings he would go, how many pitches he'd be allowed. We found out 6+. So McCarthy walks off. We'll step out and be back in a tie game. Interesting story. He's become a pitcher, and he throws the ball pretty well. 36 strikeouts in 24 and a third innings, just 7 walks, 24 hits. He could hit the ball, and then all of a sudden, it just kind of went away. So, almost as a last resort, Oakland asked him if he'd like to try pitching. And this is really his first full year in the major leagues as a pitcher. He did get up with this ball club briefly, and now he's turned his whole career around.
Just 25 years old, 6'3", 212 pounds. First pitch strike. Jordan Tanks. In a way to Stockton and Middle, and he had 22 homers and drove in 91.
I mean, not bad.
He's had knee problems. Breaking ball. And the count very quickly, 0-2 in this 3-3 tie. Bottom of the 7th inning. 3 solo homers for our guys. He did not go. Jordan has popped up the center and then tried to bunt his way on, and McCarthy made a good play to get him at first.
The Athletics leading in bullpen ERA.
Got him.
And he froze him with the fastball at 93. The only problem that the Athletics have had recently with that bullpen is that their closer, Ryan Cook, has really struggled. But Doolittle's been good. Throws a good fastball on the outside corner.
Here's Gordon. Takes low ball one. He is struck out and walked. Don't help him out. 3-0. Diaz on deck. There's one. Tigers leading Texas 6-2. Top of the 7th. Down at Arlington. Austin Jackson just had an inside the park home run.
Texas was leading that game 2-0. The Tigers came roaring back.
That one at 94 and a full count. Bottom of the 2nd. It's a big A in Anaheim. No score as the Angels host the Mariners. Angels have to face Felix Hernandez tonight. And there's a base hit. Just fisted it in the hole. So here comes Alejandro.
Gordon now 1 for 2. That fastball on the inner portion of the plate. Gordon able to get his hands in, and the head of the bat on the ball hits it in a perfect spot. And he represents a go-ahead run with only 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Pennington with the effort that leaves him a little short.
Alejandro 1 for 3, a double. First and 30. Alejandro. Takes ball 1. Nice gap out there in right center field if he can find it. Totals on the board identical at 3-7-0. Takes a strike to even the count at 1. Ate him up inside. Hinge very quickly over the Weeks. Can't do anything with it. So 2 down.
Gordon was going to make sure, even though there was really no way to get Diaz. Beckham went in. Weeks thinking a lot about Gordon. Couldn't get the throw off. And the inning stays alive.
Here's Uke. He's due. He's 0 for 3. So good speed aboard. Alejandro 20 for 28 in stolen bases. Takes ball 1.
You might remember Neshek from his days with the Minnesota Twins. The most unusual motion. Actually got hurt against us.
You get a good pitch to hit. Could not barrel it up. There he goes. No chance. Now pick him up.
Good jump on first move and a tough pitch to handle. That's one of the reasons why Norris couldn't get a decent throw off. Weeks did a terrific job realizing they weren't going to get him. He had to come, get to the grass, knock the ball down, and make sure it didn't get by.
Two out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that'll do it, but the home run by Tank Viciedo. This game is tied at 3.
And we've got a new pitcher, and he's Matt Thornton. 4-7. And a busy man, 53 games. 3.64 ERA, and he enters a tie game in the top of the 8th.
Brandon Moss takes ball 1. Moss is 1 for 2. Big 2-run homer back in the second inning. If you're just tuning in, we have 3 solo homers. One by AJ, one by Alexei, and one by the Tank. There's the strike, and the count evens at 1. One and 2. Hayes jumped off to a quick 3-0 lead. 1 in the first, 2 in the second. As he gone. That is 4 strikeouts in a row for our guys. Septimo struck out the only guy he faced. Jesse struck out the only 2 he faced, and now Matt. And here's Inge. He's 0 for 3. Takes first pitch strike. And the veteran Inge 2 for 7 lifetime off Matt with that home run. Checks it up. And he did not go. One pitch. Good try. High in the right center field. Alex. 2 down. It'll bring up the catcher, Derek Norris. Norris is 1 for 3 with a double. Tigers leading 6-2, bottom of the 7th, down in Arlington. Checking some other scores for you. Dodgers beat the Marlins 5-2 down in Miami. Atlanta shuts out the Mets 4-0 at City Park. Yankees beat Toronto 10-4 up in Canada. And that's where we'll be going after Sunday's game. 4 in Toronto and 3 in Kansas City on that 7-game road trip.
Freddie Garcia beat Ricky Romero. Not an easy task, although this year Romero's ERA in the 5.30s, which is very much unlike him.
And that's fouled away right side. So the count hangs at 0-2. Phillies at home against the Cardinals. Phillies win it 3-1. San Diego beats Pittsburgh 9-8 at PNC. As we mentioned, Cincinnati beat the Cubs 10-8. Cubs made 5 errors in that ball game. One and 2 the count. Baltimore beat Kansas City 7-1 at Camden Yards. Top of the 9th in Houston, 3-2 Milwaukee. Top of the 4th in Arizona, 1-0 Washington. He gone. Nice 1-2-3 inning for Matt. We go to the bottom of the 8th, tied at 3.
And it comes off the bat of Adam Dunn. Yoenis Cespedes closing a lot of ground, and he cuts it off, taking away a 2-base hit. That would have led off the 6th inning. And he possibly saved at least one, who knows how many more with that catch.
And there are the A's announcers on the right, Glenn Kuiper, and on the left, 12-year veteran out of Marion, Illinois. He's a Saluki, went to Southern Illinois, and great teammate of mine and great friend, Ray Fosse. 12-year veteran of the big leagues, and tell you what, he was Cleveland's #1 pick back in 1965, and until that Pete Rose incident in the All-Star game, he looked like he was going to be an absolute world beater. But right here we got ourselves a 3-3 tie. Adam 1 for 3. And the count 1-1. Rios on deck. Totals on board identical at 3-7-0.
Brett Myers getting ready in the bullpen. Nice 8th by Matt Thornton.
Breaking ball just underneath it. And that is out number 1.
Doolittle hangs this one, and he got very fortunate to get away with it.
Yep.
And Adam realizes that he got one that he should have hit a long way and just got under it.
So here's Alex. 0 for 3. But he has hit it very hard twice. Takes first pitch strike. And if you're just tuning in, the game is being played with a warning issued to both sides. Cespedes was drilled by Gavin Floyd, and AJ was drilled by Brandon McCarthy.
And both starting pitchers are not going to figure in the decision, so the game is in the hands of the bullpen.
Count hangs to 0-2 with AJ on deck.
Bullpen up and going for the A's.
And that is fouled right side. Carter trying to, he just completely.
Yeah, he should have been able to make that catch.
Yeah,
and normally
misjudged it.
A first baseman who's used to being in this ballpark would have made the play. We caught a break. He didn't think he could get to it initially, but the winds would have kept it in. He stops, he starts, he stops, he starts, and then has it drift over his head. So another life for Alex Rios.
Change up. 2 down.
After a decent battle, look at the location on the BMO Harris Bank pitch tracks. Down and away with the change. Perfect location. And Rios goes down on strikes.
AJ is 1 for 2, his 22nd homer, leading off the second. Checks it up, takes ball 1.
It's Neshek in the bullpen, and you figure with the 2 right-handers coming up, Ramirez and Viciedo after AJ, that one way or the other, this would be Doolittle's last hitter.
Okay, the youngster is pretty impressive. Being a position player, making that conversion to a pitcher.
Able to get a changeup over in a key situation.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Big hack. And just underneath.
That sends Norris out to the mound.
For the A's in their top of the 9th inning, it'll be Pennington, Crisp, and Weeks. Two and two. Exploding bat. Carter will take it himself. And that will retire the side. Into the 9th in this 3-3 tie. Visit the chicagosfoodbank.org/White Sox to make a donation. Fans can also donate at the Sox game on Saturday, August 25th, and receive a White Sox reusable grocery bag presented by Dominick's.
Brett Myers comes into the game, and he's been throwing very well lately. There's a look at him. No ERA. On for the 10th time.
And the count 2-0 to Pennington.
Pennington has showed us a little power from the left side. He's a switch hitter. Just coming back off the disabled list.
There's the strike. Pennington. 8 homers, 58 knocked in last year. Count evens at 2. Lays off the curveball. And the payoff pitch. And the dreaded leadoff walk. Pennington 11 for 15 in stolen bases. So here's the leadoff hitter, Coco Crisp. He's 0 for 2 with 2 walks, but a run scored. He walked to lead off the ball game.
Crisp is also a very good bunter, so that's something you have to bear in mind, especially if he drags it up the right side.
Buchanan on the grass. He is not bunting on that one. Fouls it back in the count, 0-1. .32-year-old veteran switch hitter. And that's a chop foul. Covelli, Lois, Crisp, alias Coco. Decent lead by Pennington. That curveball hit high and deep. Alex back on the track. He is there. Makes the catch. A scare? Yes. An out? Yes.
Chris bidding for his 6th home run. Comes up a little short. That rolling breaking ball was right in the middle of the plate. But Alex, with a couple of feet to spare, hauls it in.
So here's Weeks. Jamal is 2 for 3 with a sacrifice bunt.
When you got 2 good bullpens, you're going to go into extra innings a lot. We've been in 11 times. We're 5 and 6. They've been in 12 times, and they're 9 and 3. So it's probably best not to take them into extra innings.
There he goes. And that's out number 2.
The wins in last at bats. We've got 12 of them, which is good. But Oakland has 19 of them, which leads only Baltimore in the American League.
So here's Reddick. 0 for 4 tonight. get over there. He will, and that'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Ramirez, Viciedo, and Danks.
Comes off the bat of Alexei Ramirez. It's his 5th home run of the year in the 4th inning. And at that point, he cut the lead to 3-2 as Pat Neshek comes into the game. Recently back in the major leagues, on for the 5th time. He's 1-0, no ERA. He's yet to give up a hit in 3 2/3. He's a very unorthodox sidearm, bordering on submarining right-hander.
So here we go. 3-3 tie, 3-7-0 for them, 3-7-0 for us here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Alexei 2 for 3 with that home run you just saw, and he takes outside ball 1.
You're just hoping when you face Neshek that he leaves one of those sidearmers on the inner portion of the plate. Well, he did.
Yep, that was a good pitch to hit.
And unfortunately, Alexei couldn't get to it. BMO Harris Bank pitch tracks will show you a hanger right on the inner portion.
And the count 1-2. Well, he developed that sidearm delivery after being hit with a line drive in the forearm in high school. He still has a lump where that ball hit him. Made another mistake, got away with it. A little too high, though, for Alexei.
When he pitched with the Twins, he used to stand straight looking at the catcher with his legs parallel to one another. Now it's a more conventional stretch.
Got him for out number 1.
He didn't throw a lot of pitches in the strike zone. In fact, exactly one of them that entire at bat, and he got him on strikes.
So here's Tank. He's 1 for 3.
Time now for the Illinois Lottery Anything's Possible replay, and it came in the 7th inning. Outside part of the plate. This blast took McCarthy out of the game and tied the game at 3.
Right off the end of the bat, explodes it. And the count 1-1.
Just out ahead of it a bit. Catches it right off the end of the bat.
Takes it up and takes it inside. Two and two. High pop up. Inge. And that'll bring up Jordan Danks. Jordan is 0 for 3 tonight.
The left-handers usually get a better look at Neshek than the right-handers. So let's see if Jordan can figure him out. Find a way to get on second base or maybe a little bit better.
Jordan has popped to center, tried to bunt, and McCarthy threw him out. Good play. Then he struck out. That ball hit high and deep. Way back. Reddick doesn't move. You can put it on the board. Yes. Yes. A walk-off. His first major league homer for Jordan Danks. And the Sox win it 4-3. Yes.
A first pitch no doubter, and Jordan Danks with one of the great thrills that any young player can have, coming up with 2 outs in the 9th inning of a tie game and unloading on one. Just as we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite, and our Miller moment is what else could it possibly be? First ball, fastball, and gone. Game over. Bye-bye. Season tied with Oakland at 2, and Neshek walks off a loser in this one.
And let's check out our GMC player of the game. Who else? Jordan Danks, our GMC player of the game. So for my partner, Steve Stone, our director, Jim Angio, our producer, Mike Leary, our associate producer, Dave Ross, our technical manager, Mark Harper, the executive producer, Jim Corno Jr., for the mayor, Mean Joe Grube, also for Tom Hoover, Frank D'Amato, Paul Carey, and down in the truck and sound, Dennis Wood. This is the Hawk. So long, everybody. You've been watching Chicago White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, now part of the NBC Sports Group. Yes.